It is less than a month from Brooklyn Park residents voting for a new mayor. Two candidates, Lisa Jacobson and Hollis Winston, are vying to fill the remainder of former Mayor Jeff Lundy's term. Lundy vacated his seat after winning election to Hennepin County Board. Today, we're learning more about the two candidates and their views on key issues impacting the sixth largest city in Minnesota. They took part in a forum Tuesday night hosted by the North Metro Mayors Association. One of the questions asked is one many residents in the city are thinking about: how to address a historic rise in violent crime.
We also have to make a massive investment in youth programming so that kids have positive options in terms of what they want to do going forward. And then last, in terms of the next budget, we need to find creative ways to put more money into the public safety budget, because it's an issue that we have to finally get over.
This is serious, and we need serious solutions, but we also have to be able to make the investments. The money has to come from somewhere. It will never fall out of the sky at us. Bottom line, all businesses and residents deserve to feel safe in Brooklyn Park.
Another key issue is attracting new businesses to relieve pressure on residential property taxes. Both candidates were asked how they would do that.
There is some land that's still remaining to be developed, and we need to strategically take a look and say, how do we make the sum of these new businesses that we're going to attract here greater than the whole? And so when you look at the Arts Center that's going to be off of 85th, how can we have spokes off of that create more value? We
need more sit-down restaurants. We need more places for people to shop. And in that vein, I voted to waive SAC and WAC fees, which are sewer access charges and water access charges that new restaurants and other businesses would normally have to come up with thousands and thousands of dollars. Often SAC and WAC fees are the thing that stops people from opening a business.
Jacobson is a current Brooklyn Park City Council member, while Winston has received support from the DFL party for the nonpartisan seat. The winner would serve the remainder of the former mayor's term, which is 1 year and 4 months. The mayoral special election is August 10th. Osseo police now have a new tool to help officers respond to scenarios without having to use lethal force. The Osseo Police Department recently purchased 4 of these shotguns. They fire beanbag projectiles tucked inside a shell that looks similar to rolled up socks. In the past, Osseo police had tasers, but they didn't have any less lethal options that could shoot farther distances. Plymouth police are warning residents about a recent uptick in stolen vehicles and car break-ins. Police call it a sharp increase in recent days. All cases involved unlocked vehicles, and some included cars with keys left inside. Police also noted home burglaries due to thieves getting access to garage door openers. Plymouth officers say these cases serve as another reminder to keep vehicle doors locked, including while at home. We could all use a little more kindness these days, especially from trying to weather a global pandemic. Reporter Sonia Goins introduces us to a Golden Valley woman who is determined to uplift and spread joy, one good deed at a time.
When we put the libraries together, it'll come with a couple brackets, and then I give screws as well. Some of these screws go in here and they actually create a ledge for the shelf to hang out on.
Michelle Christensen is on a mission to spread peace and joy.
There is something about being able to say I love you and meaning it.
She's a founder of One Good Deed, a group of volunteers that commits to doing at least one good deed per month.
It is very lovely to see people pull together.
Her first project was in 2016 when she made 4 little free libraries. That tradition continues today.
I have directions that I give each little library owners.
Only on a much larger scale.
This is our July good deed every year. So this is our 3rd year of doing little libraries, so we're up to 65.
Recently, she gathered 20 families together and they painted dozens of little free libraries.
I had 20 little free libraries and I had over 400 responses.
All the supplies are donated and stored in her Golden Valley garage.
Everything is donated, from the materials to the labor to make them to the books.
It was a family-friendly event. People spent hours making sure their little free libraries stood out.
One is going to be a Snoopy dog house, and one has the Girl Scout insignia troop number on it. One has a pride flag on it.
Christensen says the Little Free Library project is more than crafting. It's about making connections and building community.
And I saw names being exchanged, phone numbers being exchanged. They were going to visit each other's little libraries.
The group also painted kindness rocks,
These are some of the paints that we use for the kindness rocks.
which have uplifting messages that are guaranteed to put a smile on your face.
We handmade some quilts up in there.
Every winter, volunteers scarf bomb, donating cold winter gear on trees and parks to help the homeless.
We put a label on them and we wrap them around trees and benches and tennis courts.
One good deed has one main purpose: to encourage people to be kind and spread joy.
And that it just takes one person to start a ripple that turns into a wave.
In Golden Valley, Sonia Goins, CCX News.
Finally this segment, an update on a story that's bringing joy to kids around the world. 2 years ago, we caught up with crews who deconstructed the old playground at Becker Park in Crystal. The effort involved volunteers from the nonprofit Kids Around the World. Well, today we can tell you where that playground equipment went. It's now being used by children at a public park in San Jose, Ecuador. A team from Kids Around the World went there to install the playground structure. Kids Around the World has been doing projects like this since its founding more than 25 years ago.
High school teams can gather again this week after the end of the so-called blackout, no contact period. As Jay Wilcox reports, a local football coach is happy to be back on the field after a health scare.
Seeing Armstrong football coach Jack Negen on the field, even in the summer, doesn't seem out of the ordinary. But he's overcome a big health scare to be here.
You know, back in January, I believe it was January 15th, had a heart attack, wasn't expected, never had any signs, wasn't something I was planning on. So I had that and was fortunate enough to come out of that. Had to wait a couple months and had triple bypass first week in April. So I'm a couple months, I guess, down the road now from that. I've got a clean bill of health from the doctor, so I did miss the rest of the school year. And then started football up when we started 2 weeks ago. I'm feeling awesome.
When it happened, I heard from one of the other coaches, and it definitely worried all the players. And I was concerned because a heart attack, that's a big thing. And with this whole pandemic going on and all that, I mean, I reached out, make sure he was good, and he's doing fine now, and it's good to have him back.
It feels different, but different in a good way. Like he's more bouncy, he has more energy. Like it changed him in a way. Like I don't know how to explain it, but it just seeing him in school afterwards, he felt good, and he seemed more excited about the football season.
Going through things like Coach Negen's heart attack or the death of quarterback Jamin Malone's father due to COVID-19 hasn't been easy for the Falcons. But the guys lean on each other.
Yeah, it's a brotherhood. When something goes wrong, we come together off the field, so it makes it easier to come together on the field. Because in football games, not everything goes 100% the way you want it to.
There was so much uncertainty about football last summer and even into the fall before a late starting, shortened season was eventually played. It's safe to say the players are more relaxed now.
It's getting better. We don't wear no more masks, and we're closer on the sidelines, and it definitely feels more of like a family versus last year. We have to spread out and just kind of be cautious about what's going on and all that.
And for their always intense head coach, a little renewed spirit is present.
There's definitely some spunk there, right? I got to be careful and make sure I'm taking care of myself. I'm eating better. I've lost 50 pounds and that. But yes, there's the fire there, and it's, you know what, it's been good. It made me realize through this thing I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, right? I did miss teaching and was worried about getting back out here, and grateful that I am, and I'm feeling great. So,
Jay Wilcox, CCX Sports.
Paige Bueckers burst onto the college basketball scene this past winter and is now hoping to share the spotlight with other female athletes. Jason Malillo has the story.
University of Connecticut basketball star Paige Bueckers continues to earn big accolades. This past weekend, Bueckers was honored with an ESPY award for the best female college athlete. In a powerful acceptance speech, the Hopkins High School graduate advocated for black women, who she says don't get enough credit or media attention.
With the light that I have now, as a white woman who leads a black-led sport and celebrated here. I want to show a light on black women. They don't get the media coverage that they deserve. They've given so much to this sport and the community and society as a whole, and their value is undeniable. And in the WNBA last season, the postseason awards, 80% of the winners were black, but they got half the amount of coverage as the white athletes. So I think it's time for change.
Bueckers led UConn to the Final Four last season, averaging 20 points and 5 assists in one of the most remarkable freshman campaigns in Huskies history. But as great as she was on the court, Bueckers has always hoped to use the platform basketball provides her to address bigger issues. Bueckers' speech is proof she's committed to social change and appreciates those who came before her. Jason Melillo, CCX Sports.
And that's all for sports. I'm John Jacobson.